Jaden Cole had learned two things early in life. First, fear could sharpen instincts, and second, instincts sometimes ruined everything. He was 24, broke, and painfully cautious. 3 months ago, someone followed him home, sent notes and flowers, breathed too close in crowded buses. He called it stalking, the police called it paranoia. When he landed a junior assistant job and Veil Dynamics, he promised himself this place would be different. Clean halls, bright lights, no corners for monsters. That morning, he arrived early, nerves buzzing. His new boss was rumored to be cold, strict, and terrifyingly private. He clutched his ID badge like a shield as he crossed the underground parking lot. Footsteps echoed behind him, slow, deliberate, too familiar. His chest tightened. The smell of expensive cologne hit him, the same scent he'd noticed before, once, in the rain. Panic overrode logic. Jaden spun around and slapped first. The sound cracked through concrete. Silence followed. The man stared at him, stunned, one hand slowly rising to his cheek. He was tall, broad-shouldered, devastatingly handsome, and dressed in a charcoal suit that probably cost more than Jaden's rent. Dark eyes assessed him, sharp and unreadable. "Can't explain," the man said calmly, "why my employee just assaulted me." Jaden's soul left his body. I thought you were—" His voice shook. Security guards walked closer nearby. The man lifted a hand, stopping them. "My name is Lucien Vale," he said, "CEO, and unfortunately, your new boss." Heat flooded Jaden's face. He stammered apologies. Lucien studied him for a long moment, then smiled slightly. It was not a kind smile. "Come to my office," he said. "We'll discuss your punishment." In the elevator, Jaden trembled. He expected yelling, termination, police. Instead, Lucien stood close, too close, his presence overwhelming. "You look terrified," Lucien noted softly. "Do you often hit people you fear?" Jaden swallowed. "I have a stalker," he blurted. Silence. The elevator chimed. Lucien stepped out, thoughtful. Inside the office, glass walls glinting, Lucien leaned against his desk. "You're not fired," he said. Relief hit hard. "But actions have consequences. You'll work directly under me. Overtime. Close supervision." His gaze lingered. "Consider it corrective training." Jaden nodded desperately. Lucien continued, voice measured, almost gentle. Lucien explained the company, the expectations, the importance of trust. His tone never rose, yet control filled the room. "Move your things," Lucien said calmly, gesturing toward the sleek desk beside his own. "You'll be working here, temporarily." Jaden blinked. Once, twice. "Here," as in here, his voice cracked. The CEO's office was all glass walls and quiet intimidation. There was nowhere to hide, no corners, no safe distance. "For observation," Lucien added, as if that explained everything, and emotional stability, and shuffled over. The chair was too close. Their elbows nearly touched. Every time Lucien stood, Jaden flinched hard enough to knock his knee into the desk. By the third flinch, Lucien paused mid-step. "Do I need to announce myself before walking?" Lucien asked mildly. "Yes. No. Jaden groaned and covered his face. "Sorry, reflex." Interesting reflex. Throughout the day, Lucien appeared silently behind him, leaning in to correct emails, pointing out errors in a low voice that sent shivers down Jaden's spine. Once, Jaden nearly threw a stapler when Lucien spoke too close to his ear. "I'm so sorry," Jaden blurted. "I'd rather you didn't assault me again," Lucien replied dryly, though his lips twitched. Meetings came and went. Executives stared openly at Jaden sitting beside the CEO like a punished child. Whispers followed. Jaden wanted to melt into the floor. Oddly, though, Lucien never mocked him. He defended Jaden's ideas, redirected pressure, even slid a cup of coffee toward him without comment. The contradiction was dizzying. Control without cruelty, authority without shouting. By evening, Jaden's nerves were fried. When Lucien stood and grabbed his coat, Jaden exhaled in relief. "Ready?" Lucien asked. "For?" "Going home." Jaden froze. "I can go alone," Jaden said quickly. "I usually do." Lucien looked unimpressed. "You thought I was a stalker in a well-lit parking garage. I'm not letting you walk home alone." "That's not." "I didn't." Jaden sighed. Fighting felt pointless. He followed Lucien out, every step tight with anticipation. The walk was quiet at first. Lucien matched Jaden's pace easily, hands in pockets. "When did it start?" he asked. The stalking? Jaden hesitated. 3 months ago. It was notes, messages, someone following me, always just out of reach. Lucien's jaw tightened. Have you noticed patterns? No, maybe. Jaden rubbed his arms. That's the worst part. They turned a corner. Jaden stiffened. Footsteps echoed behind them. His breath hitched. Someone's there, he whispered. Lucien stopped instantly, body shifting subtly in front of Jaden. He turned, eyes sharp, voice cutting through the dark. Show yourself. The footsteps paused, then retreated. Silence swallowed the street. Jaden's knees nearly buckled. Lucien caught his elbow, grip firm and grounding. You're safe, he said quietly. Jaden laughed weakly. You sound very sure. I am. They got to Jaden's car, and Jaden turned to look at Lucien. I can get home on my own. Something in his tone left no tone for argument. Lucien nodded, conflicted. He smiled faintly. Sleep well, Jaden. Lucien turned to walk towards his car. Jaden leaned against his car seat, heart racing. Somewhere out there, someone watched him. But for the first time in months, fear shared space with something else. Anticipation. That night, Jaden hadn't slept, not the kind that counted anyway. He'd spent the night half awake on his narrow bed, heart racing at every sound. Every time he drifted off, he dreamed of being watched, of turning around and finding a blur of a face, of reaching safety and realizing the door was locked. By the time he reached Vale Dynamics the next morning, he was running on caffeine. Lucien noticed immediately. Jaden jumped when the elevator chimed. He typed an entire paragraph wrong. Deleted it, then forgot what he was doing. When Lucien set a folder down beside him without warning, Jaden flinched hard enough to knock his coffee over. Brown liquid splashed across Lucien's immaculately arranged documents. I'm so sorry, I'll clean it. I didn't mean. Jaden scrambled for tissues, hands shaking. Lucien stared at the spill, then at Jaden. How much sleep did you get? He asked calmly. I'm fine, Jaden said too fast. Lucien didn't argue. During the morning briefing, a senior analyst laughed lightly and said, He's just a little jumpy, huh? The room chuckled. Lucien's gaze lifted slowly. Do not comment on my assistant's mental state again, he said evenly, especially when you lack the context to understand it. Silence slammed down. Jaden stared at his notes, cheeks burning. No one defended him. No one ever had. The fact that Lucien did, publicly, without hesitation, left him shaken. After the meeting, Lucien leaned closer. You skipped breakfast, he said. Jaden frowned. How would you? You also didn't sleep, Lucien continued. And you're not leaving this office until you eat. That's not a rule, Jaden muttered. It is now. When it's lunch, Lucien took him to a quiet restaurant 2 blocks away. It was too public. Jaden sat stiffly, convinced every passerby was staring at him. He dropped his fork twice. Once he accidentally said, thank you, to a waiter who hadn't spoken. Lucien watched all of it with unsettling patience. You're spiraling, Lucien said after a moment. Jaden bristled. I'm functioning. Barely. Jaden poked at his food. You don't get it. Lucien's gaze sharpened. Then explain it to me. The words slipped before Jaden could stop them. When you're scared long enough, your body forgets how to relax, even when the threat isn't there. Lucien was quiet. That night as Jaden walked home, his phone buzzed. You look tired today. His blood ran cold. Across the street a figure stood still. The figure kept walking closer. Jaden's heart hammered so loudly he was sure it could be heard across the street. His phone slipped in his sweaty grip as he fumbled for Lucien's name, fingers refusing to cooperate. The streetlight flickered above, throwing the figure in and out of shadow. He was too tall, not hurried. This was it. For months, the stalker had stayed just far enough away to haunt him without revealing anything real or showing himself. But now the distance closed with every step, and for the first time, Jaden could see details. Don't panic, Jaden whispered to himself, though his breath came shallow. Just call Lucien. His hands froze. Of course it did. The figure stopped barely an arm's length away. Jaden, the voice wasn't distorted. It wasn't low or mocking or strange. It was familiar. Jaden looked up. His brain stalled. Evan, he croaked. Evan Brooks, from accounting. Friendly, quiet, the one who always held doors open and remembered everyone's coffee orders. Evan blinked, confused. Hey, are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. Jaden staggered back a step, chest aching. Release hit him so hard, it almost knocked him over. I thought you were. He cut himself off, embarrassed heat flooding his face. Someone else? Evan guessed gently. Jaden nodded, swallowing hard. Evan frowned. I didn't mean to scare you, I just noticed you walking alone. You seem tense. They stood there under the streetlight, silence stretching between them. Jaden forced himself to breathe normally. Evan's smile was warm and concerned, rubbing the back of his neck. But I've been meaning to ask you something. Jaden slipped his phone into his pocket slowly. Okay. I know things have been intense at work, Evan continued, and you're always with Mr. Vale now. But I thought maybe you'd like to get coffee sometime. Just us. The words were not aggressive, not threatening, just normal. Oh, Jaden said weakly. I'm not really. No pressure, Evan added quickly. I just thought, you look like someone who could use company. Jaden laughed nervously. You have no idea. Evan's eyes softened. Then let me help. Something about the way he said it made Jaden's skin prickle. He glanced around the street. Empty, quiet. I should go, Jaden said. Evan stepped aside immediately, hands raised. Of course. I didn't mean to trap you. Trap. Jaden stiffened. Evan seemed to notice and sighed. Look, I know you don't trust easily. That's okay. He'll be around, if you change your mind. Good night, Jaden, Evan said, smiling as he walked away, footsteps fading into the dark. Jaden stood frozen long after he was gone. Inside his apartment, he locked the door, then checked it twice, then a third time. His phone buzzed again. Sleep well. You look tired today. Jaden's blood ran cold. The next day, Jaden arrived at work like the building itself might bite him. He scanned the lobby before stepping inside, checked reflections in glass, flinched when someone laughed too loudly behind him. His shoulders stayed tight, chin tucked, movements small, like he was trying to fold himself out of sight. Lucien noticed within seconds. Jaden had always been jumpy, but this was different. This was hunted. He paused before he turned corners. When the elevator doors opened, he didn't step in immediately. He watched the inside first, eyes darting over faces, exits, shadows. When someone brushed past him, Jaden nearly bolted. During the morning meeting, Jaden sat rigid beside Lucien, barely taking notes. His gaze kept flicking to the glass walls, the doorway, the hallway beyond. When Lucien leaned in to quietly correct a number, Jaden startled so hard his pen clattered to the floor. Lucien's jaw tightened. Breathe, he murmured under his breath, low enough that only Jaden could hear. Jaden nodded too fast. After the meeting, and after everyone left, Lucien stood and deliberately blocked the exit with his body. You're staying. Lucien turned slowly. What happened last night? Jaden froze. Nothing. Lucien didn't raise his voice. That's not true. Jaden looked at the floor, his hands twisted together. I'm fine. Lucien studied him for a long moment, then stepped back, not pushing. We'll talk later, he said, when you stop lying. Jaden swallowed. It happened just before lunch. Jaden stood at the copier, shoulders hunched, when a voice drifted over. Hey, Jaden. Jaden stiffened. Lucien looked up. Evan Brooks stood a few steps away, hands in his pockets, smiling warmly. I sent you a message last night, Evan said casually. Did you get it? Jaden's fingers trembled on the machine. Yeah, I was busy. No worries, Evan said. He leaned a little closer. I just wanted to make sure you were okay. You seemed tense. Lucien watched the exchange with careful stillness. Jaden glanced around, then back at Evan. I'm fine. Really. Evan tilted his head. You don't look fine. Is there a reason you're distracting my assistant during work hours? Lucien asked mildly. Evan turned, startled, but recovered quickly. Oh, sorry, sir. I was just checking in. Lucien's gaze flicked to Jaden. He saw the way Jaden subtly shifted away. Jaden, Lucien said evenly. Come here. Jaden obeyed instantly, stepping to Lucien's side like it was instinct. Evan's smile faltered for half a second. If you need something work-related, Lucien continued, email it. Otherwise, you're dismissed. Evan hesitated. I was actually hoping to ask Jaden about... No, Lucien said. Soft. Absolute. The word cut cleanly. Evan's eyes flicked between them, something unreadable passing through his expression, before he laughed lightly. Right. Of course. Sorry. He walked away. The moment he was gone, Jaden exhaled shakily. Lucien turned to him slowly. What happened last night? He said. Now, Jaden's throat bobbed. I thought someone was following me. And it wasn't who I expected, Jaden whispered. Lucien's eyes darkened. Who was it? Jaden hesitated, then forced the words out. Someone from work. Lucien followed Evan's retreating figure with his gaze. Something cold and dangerous settled behind his eyes. I see, he said quietly. And for the first time since this all began, Lucien Vale wasn't thinking about protection anymore. He was thinking about elimination. That afternoon, Jaden made the mistake of going to the bathroom alone. He told himself he was being dramatic, that he couldn't keep hiding behind Lucien forever. That Evan was just a coworker who happened to have terrible timing and zero boundaries. Still, his pulse spiked the moment the bathroom door swung open and shut behind him. The quiet echoing too loudly, he washed his hands fast. Jaden? His stomach dropped. Evan's reflection appeared in the mirror behind him. Jaden turned slowly. This is the bathroom, he said, forcing a weak laugh. Evan smiled. I know, I needed to pee. You've been avoiding me all morning. I'm busy, Jaden said, stepping sideways, trying to put space between them. I don't mean to make you uncomfortable, Evan said softly, but every time I try to talk to you, you disappear. It's like you're hiding. Jaden's back hit the counter. Please don't corner me. Evan's warm smile faltered as he moved back to give him space. I didn't mean to. The bathroom door clicked. Both of them turned. Lucien Vale stepped inside. Lucien took in the scene instantly. Jaden pressed back against the counter in fear. Evan standing far away, but that didn't change anything. His expression didn't change. Am I interrupting? Lucien asked calmly. Evan startled. Sir, I was just... Lucien's gaze never left Jaden. Step away from him. The order was quiet, final. Evan hesitated. He looked confused, as he wasn't even standing close to Jaden at all. Lucien took one step forward. I don't repeat myself. Evan moved farther immediately, hands raised. I didn't mean anything by it. Jaden's breath came out shaky. He hadn't even realized he'd been holding it. Lucien turned slightly, positioning himself between them without touching Jaden. This is not an appropriate setting for conversation, Lucien said. And Jaden has made it clear he doesn't wish to speak with you privately. Evan nodded, looking sort of sad. I understand, he said smoothly. I'll back off. Lucien studied him for a long, unsettling moment. Ye will, he said, completely. The second it did, Jaden's knees nearly gave out. Lucien turned to him instantly. Are you hurt? No, Jaden whispered. Just scared. Lucien's jaw clenched. You shouldn't have been alone. I know. Lucien exhaled slowly, clearly restraining something sharp beneath the surface. From now on, he said, you don't go anywhere in this building without me knowing. Jaden looked up at him. That sounds like a rule. It is, Lucien replied. For a moment, neither moved. The bathroom felt too small, too quiet. Thank you, Jaden said finally. Lucien's gaze softened, just barely. You don't thank someone for doing the bare minimum, he said. When they were back in his office, Lucien turned to Jaden. I think Evan is your stalker, Lucien said. The words landed heavy. Jaden froze. What? Lucien folded his arms. He knows your routines. He approaches you when you're isolated. He ignores clear discomfort. And now he corners you in a private space. His eyes were sharp, calculating. That's not coincidence. Jaden's stomach twisted. Part of him wanted to agree. It would make sense. Too much sense. But he seemed nice, Jaden said weakly. So do most predators, Lucien replied without hesitation. Jaden ran a hand through his hair. But his phone buzzed. Both of them looked down. Jaden's breath caught as he read the message. Can't wait till you get off work. I hate that I can't see you when you go to work. The room went silent. Lucien read it over Jaden's shoulder, his expression shifting. That changes things. Jaden nodded slowly, heart pounding. Evan sees me at work, he whispered. He wouldn't say that. No, Lucien agreed, which means the stalker loses access to you during work hours. His gaze darkened. Jaden's earlier certainty cracked apart, replaced by confusion. So Evan's just inappropriate? Lucien's jaw tightened. Evan is still a problem, just not the problem. Jaden exhaled shakily. I thought I finally knew who it was. Lucien straightened. We proceed carefully. You don't confront anyone. You don't change your routine without telling me. And you forward every message to me. Jaden hesitated. That sounds like protection, Lucien interrupted. A week passed. Slowly, the air around Jaden changed. The stalker's messages stopped coming every night. The footsteps behind him faded into memory. He still checked locks, still looked over his shoulder, but the constant pressure eased, like a headache finally loosening its grip. At work, Evan stopped trying to talk to him. No lingering smiles, no accidental run-ins, no messages. Jaden noticed first. Lucien confirmed it. "He's avoiding you," Lucien said one evening. "Maybe he got the hint," Jaden offered. "Or maybe he realized he's being watched," Lucien replied. Jaden leaned back in his chair, exhaustion settling deep into his bones. For the first time in weeks, he felt almost normal. He laughed at a joke during a meeting. He forgot to flinch when someone walked behind him. Lucien noticed that too. "You're lighter," Lucien said quietly. Jaden smiled faintly. "I feel lighter." Lucien studied him. "Don't let your guard down yet." "I know," Jaden said. "But it feels like, whatever it was, it moved on." The next week, when Lucien invited Jaden to dinner, it sounded painfully official. "Company dinner," Lucien said, already scrolling through his tablet. "Tonight, 8. Jaden agreed instantly. He wore his most boring outfit on purpose. Plain black slacks, button-up, nothing that could be misread. The surprise hit him the moment the car stopped. Soft lights, a small upscale restaurant tucked away from the city noise, candlelight glowing behind wide windows. Definitely not a place where people discussed quarterly reports. "Oh," Jaden said faintly. Lucien stepped out first, holding the door open for him. "Problem?" "No. I just thought." Jaden gestured vaguely. "I didn't know it was like this." "Like what?" Lucien asked, amused. "Romantic," Jaden blurted, then immediately wanted the ground to open up and swallow him. Lucien paused, studying him. "Are you okay with that?" Jaden's ears burned. "Yes, I just didn't dress for." He stopped himself. "Never mind." Inside, they were seated in a quiet corner. Candles flickered. Soft music hummed. Jaden sat stiffly, hands folded in his lap like he was attending a formal interview. Lucien ordered wine without asking. Jaden opened his mouth to protest, then closed it. He didn't want to be difficult. And honestly, the warmth in the room felt nice. Lucien noticed Jaden barely touching his food. "You're nervous," he said gently. "I don't usually do this," Jaden admitted. "Dinners, with bosses, were candles." Lucien's lips curved slightly, then "Stop thinking of me as your boss, just for tonight." That made Jaden even more nervous. The wine helped. One glass loosened Jaden's shoulders. 2 made him smile more easily. By the third, he was laughing quietly at Lucien's dry humor and leaning forward without realizing it. Lucien watched him carefully, making sure Jaden drank water. He didn't touch his own glass much. "You're different when you relax," Lucien said. Jaden blinked slowly. "Is that bad?" "No," Lucien replied. "It's endearing." Jaden ducked his head, shy smile tugging at his lips. "You say weird things very confidently." Lucien huffed a soft laugh. As dessert arrived, Lucien's expression shifted, more serious now. "There's something you should know," he said. Jaden immediately sobered a little. "Okay." "I hired a hacker," Lucien said calmly, "to track the number that's been messaging you." Jaden froze. "You? What?" "I wanted answers," Lucien continued. "Not guesses, not patterns. Facts." Jaden searched his face for signs of manipulation, but found none, only steady intent. "And?" he asked quietly. Lucien shook his head. "The number is masked, routed through multiple burners, but we're getting closer." Jaden exhaled, tension slipping back into him, until Lucien reached across the table and gently tapped his fingers. "You're safe tonight," Lucien said. "I wouldn't bring you here otherwise." The simple certainty in his voice melted something in Jaden's chest. "Oh," Jaden murmured, warmth spreading through him again. Then, "Okay." By the time they left, Jaden was comfortably tipsy, clinging slightly to Lucien's arm, rambling about his foster home and how he used to pretend streetlights were protective spirits. Lucien listened, every word. When Jaden tripped on the curb, Lucien caught him easily. "Careful," Lucien murmured. Jaden laughed, cheeks flushed. "You're very grabby tonight." Lucien smiled, low and fond. "Only because you let me." Jaden leaned into him without thinking. The next morning, Jaden woke up and bolted upright, heart slamming, eyes darting around the unfamiliar bedroom, wrinkled but intact, which grounded him just enough not to completely lose it. "Okay," he whispered. "Okay." Think. Memories trickled in slowly. Dinner, wine, laughing too loud, holding Lucien's arm like it was the most natural thing in the world. The door opened. Jaden yelped and nearly fell off the bed. Lucien stood there, calm as ever, wearing rolled-up sleeves and an apron. He was holding a tray. "Good morning," Lucien said evenly. "Why am I in your bed?" Lucien walked in, unbothered, setting the tray down. "Because you fell asleep on my couch and refused to wake up." "I would never." "You told me," Lucien continued, unfazed. "If you move me, I'll haunt you." Jaden's soul left his body. Lucien poured coffee. "I didn't take you to your place because I don't know where you live, and I won't let you travel unconscious." Jaden's panic slowed. "You didn't look it up?" Lucien met his eyes. "I won't cross boundaries you haven't given me." Something in Jaden's chest loosened. "Oh," he said softly. Lucien handed him the tray. Breakfast, toast, eggs, fruit, perfectly arranged. "Eat," he said. "You drank more than you're used to." Jaden laughed weakly. "I was chatty." "You were," Lucien agreed. "It was adorable." Jaden buried his face in his hands. "Please stop." Lucien's lips curved. "No." Jaden leaned back against the pillows, sipping coffee. No alarms blaring in his head for once. No messages, no shadows. Just Lucien sitting at the edge of the bed, watching him like this was exactly where Jaden belonged. "You don't have to rush," Lucien said. Jaden hesitated. "I should probably go home." Lucien tilted his head. "Why? It's a Saturday." Jaden faltered. "Habit?" Lucien reached out, brushing his thumb lightly over Jaden's wrist. Not gripping, not trapping, just there. "Stay," he said quietly. "Just today." Jaden swallowed. "You're very convincing." Lucien exhaled slowly, something unguarded slipping through. "I don't beg often." Jaden blinked. "Was that begging?" "Yes." Jaden laughed, warm and breathless. "Okay, just for a bit." Lucien's hand lingered longer this time. Their knees brushed. Jaden felt heat curl low in his stomach. Unfamiliar, but not unwelcome. "You're safe here," Lucien said, voice lower now. Jaden met his gaze. "I know." The silence shifted. Thick, charged, deliberate. Lucien leaned in just enough for Jaden to feel his breath. Not touching, waiting. Jaden closed the distance himself. The kiss was slow, careful, testing. Lucien's hand came to Jaden's waist like it had always known where it belonged. Jaden melted into it, a soft sound escaping him before he could stop it. Lucien pulled back slightly. "Tell me if it's too much." "It's not," Jaden whispered. "It's nice." They stayed tangled in that space, kisses growing warmer, hands exploring just enough to make Jaden's head spin, without crossing into anything rushed or reckless. Jaden broke the kiss, and Lucien pressed his forehead to Jaden's, and murmured, "We'll take this slow." Jaden smiled, flushed and relaxed in a way he hadn't been in months. "Good," he said. "I don't think I could handle fast." Lucien kissed him again, softer this time. A month had passed since Jaden stopped counting footsteps. Dating Lucien felt unreal in the quietest way. No chaos, no rushing, just weekends spent tucked into Lucien's immaculate house, soft music playing while Lucien cooked, his presence a steady gravity Jaden had slowly learned to lean into. This weekend, Lucien had errands. "Stay," he'd said casually, kissing Jaden's temple. "Make yourself at home." Jaden tried. He wandered the bedroom, sunlight pooling across silk sheets, Lucien's space still faintly intimidating. Even after weeks of shared laughter and slow mornings, something restless buzzed under Jaden's skin. It had been too quiet lately. No messages, no watching. He pulled out his phone. The unknown number still sat there. He has never once replied to the number. "If I don't do it now, I never will." Jaden typed. "Why me?" His thumb hovered, then pressed send. Nothing happened. He exhaled, nerves jangling, embarrassed by his own boldness. Of course they won't reply, he thought. Maybe it's finally over. Then, ding. The sound came from inside the room. Jaden froze. It wasn't his phone. His heart stuttered, then laughed weakly at itself. Lucien probably left a tablet or something, he muttered. Rich people had devices everywhere. He shook it off. Minutes passed. No reply. Frowning, Jaden typed again. "You stopped texting. Why?" "Send." He held his breath. Ding. Closer this time. From the drawer. Jaden's mouth went dry. He stood very still. Slowly, carefully, he walked to the bedside table. The drawer was half closed, shadowed. Jaden stared at it, heart pounding loud enough to drown out reason. Don't be stupid, he told himself. It's nothing. He opened the drawer. Inside sat a phone, not Lucien's usual one. Older, matte black, no case, no cracks, like it had been kept carefully, protected. The screen lit up. Unknown number message sent. You stopped texting. Why? Jaden's vision tunneled. No, he whispered. No, no, no. The words blurred. His chest tightened painfully as memories slammed together. The perfectly timed rescues, the way Lucien always knew, the untraceable number, the calm certainty whenever Jaden panicked. His hands shook as he scrolled. Photos, pictures of him walking home, sitting on buses, through his window, sleeping on Lucien's couch the first night. A photo from this morning, Jaden curled in Lucien's bed, unaware. The date stamps went back months, before the slap, before the job, before everything. The front door clicked. Jaden barely registered it. Footsteps approached. Jaden? Lucien's voice called. I'm back earlier than... Lucien stopped short in the doorway. Their eyes met. Jaden stood there with the phone in his hands, face pale, breath shallow. The silence stretched. Lucien didn't pretend, didn't lie. He closed the door behind him, softly. I was wondering when you'd find it, Lucien said. Jaden's voice broke. It was you. Lucien stepped closer, slow, deliberate, careful not to startle him. Yes. Why? Jaden demanded, tears spilling over now. Why would you do this to me? Lucien's eyes softened, though the intensity behind them made Jaden's stomach twist. Because I love you, Jaden, he said quietly. I've loved you from the moment I saw you. Jaden shook violently, stepping back, instinctively clutching the phone. You watched me, all this time, and pretended you were trying to protect me. That's, his voice broke again, fear lacing every word. That's insane. I know, Lucien whispered, his tone low and steady. It's extreme, but I couldn't stop myself. I couldn't let anyone have you. I couldn't let you be alone. Jaden's knees trembled. You're a monster, he said, voice barely audible. Lucien reached for his hands, gently brushing Jaden's trembling fingers. I'm not a monster, he murmured. I'm someone who's desperate to protect you, to hold you close. Jaden flinched and tried to pull away, but Lucien's grip was firm, warm, and unrelenting. Let go, Jaden whispered, fear edging into panic. I can't, Lucien admitted. Not when you're here, and I've already imagined a life with you. I can't let it slip away. He tried to calm Jaden, speaking softly, kneeling slightly so their eyes met. I'm not going to hurt you, unless it's to keep you here, where I know you're safe. Jaden's body shook, every instinct screaming at him to run. No, I don't. I can't. Lucien exhaled, his expression hardening just slightly. Then you leave me no choice. Before Jaden could react, Lucien moved swiftly, producing a silk rope from the nightstand drawer. His hands were steady, practiced. In moments, Jaden's wrists were bound to the arms of a chair near the bed, his legs lightly secured so he couldn't escape. Jaden's eyes widened in terror. Lucien, what are you doing? Lucien leaned close, nose nearly brushing Jaden's temple. I'm showing you, he whispered, that you're mine, and that I will protect you, even if you don't understand yet. He traced a finger along Jaden's jaw. Softly, possessively. Do you feel it? The weight of my love? The way I've watched you, protected you, all these months? Jaden shook, trying not to cry. This isn't love, he said hoarsely. This is madness. Lucien smiled, dark and intimate. Love has many forms, he murmured. Mine is thorough. He stepped back slightly, kneeling to meet Jaden's eyes again. I've imagined this moment 1,000 times, he said. Me telling you, me holding you, making sure no one else ever touches your life the way I could. And now it's real. Jaden's chest heaved. Please, Lucien, untie me. Lucien shook his head slowly, leaning closer again, almost reverently. I can't. Not yet. I need you to understand. You are the only thing I've ever cared for. The only thing I will ever care for. And I will show you, even if I have to tie you here myself, that I love you beyond reason. And I need you to love me back. Jaden's eyes filled with tears, a mix of fear and disbelief, as Lucien's hand brushed his hair back. I don't know if I can, Jaden whispered. Lucien's smile softened, almost tender now, though still undeniably unsettling. You will, he said, Because I will never let anyone take you from me. Jaden's chest was tight, breath coming in short, shallow gasps. Lucien's hands were dangerously close. Then, a sound shattered the tense silence. Bang! The front door exploded inward. Police officers flooded the room, shouts and commands colliding. One tackled Lucien to the floor before he could react, pinning him as handcuffs clicked around his wrists. Lucien's eyes widened, uncharacteristically stunned. Step back, one officer barked. Jaden barely registered the chaos before a familiar voice called his name. Jaden, are you okay? Evan. He darted toward the chair, kneeling and swiftly untying the ropes. His hands were firm but careful, gentle in a way that made Jaden's chest loosen for the first time in weeks. Thank you, Jaden whispered, voice cracking, shock and relief flooding him. You don't need to thank me, Evan said. I've suspected this for a while. Jaden blinked at him. Suspected what? Evan exhaled sharply, pulling the last knot loose. I noticed your behavior the first week you started here. All the fidgeting, looking over your shoulder, the way you jumped at small noises. I thought it was just stress at first, but I couldn't shake it. Jaden's heart sank. Lucien? Evan nodded. After that day in the bathroom, I started looking into him. Using my younger brother's help, we accessed his phone. His patterns matched exactly with what you'd experienced. He did this with his previous assistants, their routines, every move monitored. You weren't imagining anything. Jaden felt numb. Shock, betrayal, relief, and gratitude collided inside him. You did all that for me? Evan shrugged, brushing a strand of hair from his eyes. I couldn't let it go on. I didn't know how to warn you without alerting him. I just waited for the right moment. Jaden looked toward Lucien, still pinned by the police, his expression unreadable, half anger, half disbelief, and some unfathomable longing that Jaden had never understood until now. I thought I was safe with him, Jaden whispered, trembling. You are safe now, Evan assured him, helping him stand fully, and he's not going to hurt you anymore, I promise. The ropes fell away completely, and Jaden felt an unfamiliar weight lift from his chest. His knees, which had been trembling for so long, steadied. He swallowed hard, turning to Evan. I don't know how to thank you. Evan gave a small smile, eyes kind but serious. You don't need to. Just take care of yourself. That's enough. Lucien was being led away in cuffs, his eyes never leaving Jaden's. There was something in the way he stared, possessive, calculating, but now powerless. Jaden didn't feel the old thrill of attraction. He felt clarity, safety, control return to him. Outside, Evan guided him gently, hand on his back, steady and warm. Jaden allowed himself to breathe full for the first time in months, the tension in his shoulders finally unraveling. Jaden smiled weakly, eyes glimmering with tears, relief, gratitude, a quiet, unspoken hope for something new. Come on, let's get you out of here. You deserve a weekend, a life that isn't constantly looking over your shoulder, Evan suggested. Jaden nodded, heart still pounding, but in a different way now. Fear was gone, hope was there, and this time he felt safe enough to let someone guide him forward. Weeks later, the courtroom had emptied hours ago. Lucien's sentence had been delivered. Years of prison, enough time for Jaden to finally breathe without shadows following him. Outside, Jaden walked beside Evan, the afternoon sun warm on their shoulders. Jaden was now talking to a therapist, and the ropes of fear and paranoia had finally unraveled, leaving a lightness he hadn't felt in months. You okay? Evan asked, glancing at him. There was a softness in his voice, gentle, careful, like he didn't want to startle Jaden back into panic. Jaden nodded slowly, adjusting the strap of his bag. I think I am. I can finally breathe. Evan smiled. Good, that's exactly how you should feel. They walked in silence for a moment, letting the sound of the city fill the spaces between words. Then Evan stopped and turned to him. Hey, Jaden. He blinked. Yeah? Evan's fingers brushed a stray lock of hair from his face, nervous in a way that was almost endearing. Everything that happened. It's been a lot. And I don't want to rush you into anything, but would you like to maybe grab dinner with me? Just a normal dinner. Jaden froze, heart skipping at the simplicity and sincerity in Evan's question. Relief, gratitude, and the tiniest spark of hope surged through him. He swallowed, looking down at his hands. Yeah, he said quietly, a small smile tugging at the corner of his lips. I think I'd like that. Evan's smile widened, warm and genuine. Good. Well, take it slow. No pressure, I promise. Jaden laughed softly, the sound light and real, for the first time in weeks. Okay, slow sounds good. Exactly, Evan said, nudging him gently with his shoulder. We start with slow. They walked on, the city stretching endlessly around them, sunlight catching on glass and concrete. Jaden didn't feel watched. Instead, he felt curiosity. Like maybe, finally, he could trust again. The dark chapter was over. The healing chapter was just beginning. The end.